Hey, this is Jeffrey Smith from SEO Ultimate Pro, and today what I'd like to do is share with you a method that you can use in order to create more meaningful text that search engines, meaning the relationships that artificial intelligence uses to understand the web, is a process that's called the Semantic Web. The Semantic Web essentially creates entities, which are things that are described in a document. And an entity basically helps computers understand everything that you know about a person, place, an organization, for example. And all these things are organized in things that are called triples. Now, triples are essentially expressed in the form of a subject, predicate, and object. And so, in essence, you're really helping a search engine understand the context of the things that you're talking about. And when you actually use this information and you annotate your content or you mark up your content using something that's called JSON-LD or linked data, sounds really nerdy, I know, but you can actually do this inside of SEO Ultimate Pro rather easily. And one of the ways that you can actually find out what search engines will determine as an entity is using a tool that's called TextRaiser. Now, this is a pretty advanced tool, but what they do have is they have an actual demo. And you can see that TextRaiser helps you extract and understand the who, what, why, and how from your content. And the way it does that is it parses your document, and it uses something that's called disambiguation. Basically, it's just taking away any kind of fuzziness or lack of clarity in your document, and it will break it out and show you the relationships between this. And so what you can do is go to textraiser.com. You basically go try the demo, and say that I had a topic of real estate, and say I wanted to find out what entities are important in real estate. Well, one of the ways I can do that is I might type in a question like, what is real estate? Find the top result, click that result, and then what I can do is I can actually just take this content here, and the objective, remember, for this exercise is I want to find the important topics that are listed here. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to copy this. Let me just see, there we go. I'm just going to copy this text, or portion of text in this case, copy it, go back to my TextRaiser, paste it over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Analyze, and what this is going to do is going to run off, parse this content, and then show me what the entities are that are inside of that. And you can see that all the things that are actually linked here shows you that they have semantic relationships that are actually inside of Wikipedia and other sources of linked data. And so you can see that real estate, all the different things that are basically associated with it, you can see here. You can see that it's in the business, competitive space, field of study, locations, all these components. Essentially, it's showing you that these are the topics: mortgage-backed securities, mortgage loans, real estate investing, exchange-traded fund, investment, property, business, commercial property. So you understand that the web, that the artificial intelligence that is being used, that there is an actual infrastructure and language. Now, this is Tim Berners-Lee, who started out many years ago and wanted to create the Semantic Web. The whole idea behind it is he had a dream in which the web, in which computers became capable of analyzing data on the web, the content, links, and transactions between people and computers. Semantic Web, which makes that possible, has yet to emerge, but when it does, the day-to-day mechanisms of trade, bureaucracy, in our daily lives will be handled by machines talking to machines. Well, even though this was 1999, that day has come. So we are here. Google has funded a lot of projects, or they have purchased a lot of websites that have done this, but you can see that there are other companies like TextRaiser that are out there doing this, that then show you that these are the kind of topics that you would like to basically create as your vocabulary if you are in fact creating a website around real estate or something of that nature. And so if we jump over into the SEO Ultimate Pro plugin, what I will show you is that we have the ability to create these semantic tags. And inside of the semantic tags, the way that they work is you create a name for the tag. And so in this case, I created a tag called real estate. The keyword becomes the word real estate. The citation became or is the actual place that you're linking to, much like what you're seeing here. When you see that there is an actual page like this one that you can open up, that is the actual term or place that the web has deemed the most significant repository of information for this information, which just happens to be Wikipedia. TextRaiser is referencing that as the reference for the word real estate, and so am I. And I'm doing that here in the URL. I'm actually using, I'll just edit this tag so you can see it. I've used Wikipedia as my citation. I've used that URL, and then actually I've created my own unique description, and I've used another tool to grab that, an artificial intelligence tool that goes out and compiles this kind of information. But the objective here is that I want to disambiguate my content, which means create more clarity, create more meaning. I want to create a vocabulary that people, if they came to my website, if they didn't understand what that term was, they could click a link and then go to the wiki area, which is our own, essentially our own Wikipedia within our website, our own wiki structure, which just means this is a place for information or more information about this topic. And then you would actually create that tag. And so if you see how this is deployed in the real world, so to speak, on how you can actually use this, what I've done here is I've created a tag page that's around the topic of real estate. I've placed all of my really cool content in here that's about that topic, and then if there's other topics that are talking about real estate, they are also linking to the to this page. For example, what is real estate? I've created a page about that, and my actual real estate page is over here. And so this is what we're talking about, how you can create an in-depth article, and it's based on these semantic ontologies, basically this structure that showcases all the really cool things that are related to this topic, and you can actually extract that by looking at this tool, which is called TextRaiser, by finding the top site that's ranking for that authoritative term that you want, grab their page, grab some of their content, and then look for other things that I would like to include inside of my own semantic tags or my own semantic vocabulary that I'm creating for my website. All right, now I'll do a more in-depth example of this, but I just wanted to show you that you can actually find the categories of something based upon the main term. You can see the actual content in here. You know, you can really dive deep. This is just showing you that of all the phrases on that page that we looked at, which is the Investopedia, that you can see things like if I'm talking about a personal property, well, guess what? There is actually a page that's about personal property. So I should consider adding that as a semantic tag on a page if I were to do that. And the way I would do that, I found my link. I actually know what this is about. So if I were creating a new page in my website using SEO Ultimate Pro, I could very easily just create a new post. And this is my content about real estate and personal property. Okay, then what I would do is I would go down to the schema section over here. I'd create a semantic tag. This is the simple way to do it. I would say personal property. Come down to the citation. I would say Wikipedia. Grab a URL, which I already have from here, because I know it's an entity because I've used TextRaiser. And then I would write my 50-word description about personal property, because this is what actually is going to show up in the Google Structured Data Testing tool when I test it. And so what this is doing is it's turning it into the language of schema that's showing the relationships between the content, the keyword, the citation, etc. And I am saying this is a person, place, or a thing by giving it a creative work markup. And you can see here, if I go to the blog posts, there's nothing here to the naked eye. But if I were to take this URL and hop on over into Google Structured Data Testing tool, go ahead and do this again. All right, and I would place this URL over here and click Run Test. Well, guess what? We have that creative work of personal property and that relationship that's there. So instead of, you see what we just did is we actually created a hyperlink to the place that is showing you that this is considered an entity. It's a person, place, or a thing inside of Google, inside of the linked data structured databases, or the linked data itself. This is a linked data example because it's showing you this is an entity, and even though anybody using this tag for example, it's referencing Wikipedia as the main source because that's the most authoritative series or set of documents online for this topic, you're doing the exact same thing. And so you're essentially disambiguating your content. If you look here and you find things that have been outlined, that means that they actually have, that they are entities, and you can consider using those in your documents. All right. I know it seems like a mouthful, but it's a really powerful technique, because if you are marking up your content in this way so that search engines can understand and see this information in linked data like this gives you an extreme competitive advantage against your competition. And it allows you to surface in a number of different types of search results, because Google doesn't just use regular search results. They might use images, videos. You might appear in the knowledge graph, for example, when you type in questions. And here's one of the examples of that. If I just go back to the what is real estate example, or if I were to type in what is real estate, this is the knowledge graph that you'll see where you start to surface, and these are the types of areas that you can surface in if you use structured data properly. This is what is considered the featured snippet. And so this is really powerful, because if you're spending money on advertisements or if you're trying to rank organically, these blocks, these featured snippets, are really extremely powerful for driving traffic because they appear above paid advertisements, etc. And if you couple that with something like Answer the Public, which is another website that you can use that's really absolutely free, and you just type in the word real estate, for example, you can find all these really powerful questions. You can see these relationships between that. This is how you find really, really powerful, low-hanging fruit type of keywords that you could actually go after and create pages of content around. And then you would use the same methodology, go here, find out who's ranking, grab some of their content, if that's the case, or find the topics that are important around this. You find somebody that has content that's available, go over to TextRaiser, look for entities, write and use those phrases that surface on those pages to actually offset this result or outrank them by creating a more in-depth document, by creating extremely relevant tags and linked data around that topic from creating your own vocabulary. All right. Hopefully this all makes sense. If not, that means that you really need to take a deep dive and learn more inside of our SEO Bootcamp training, where we really explain all this and make it crystal clear on how to rank your website from the beginning, starting out from the keyword research phase, how to take that keyword research and build it into your site architecture, how to go beyond that, and how to craft your content using techniques like this, how to then do all of your technical on-page optimization, how to build a syndication network so that when you publish your content, it's like creating your own newscast beacon that goes out and syndicates your content across the web for you, as well as how to build citations and backlinks to your content to help it rank higher. So we cover all that stuff inside of SEO Bootcamp. This is just a taste of the kind of things that you're going to see, but this is one tool that you can use to once again find entities in your content that you can then use to create a more in-depth conversation in your content that search engines and people will use. And when search engines see this content that's marked up in this way, they actually will rank you a lot higher than someone who is simply not using any type of structured data or unstructured information on their website. All right. Thank you for listening.